going on, y'all? It is Falcons Daily. It's a Saturday. I am CG Craig Green, your host. Thanks again for tuning in, y'all. Appreciate everyone clicking subscribe. We are getting closer and closer to 1,000 subscribers, and really appreciate everybody putting in their time and their energy into Falcons Daily, presented by Fan Arch up here in the corner. Make sure you guys give them a follow at Fan Arch Co. All right, let's chop it up, y'all. I was looking at the Falcons depth chart and looking at their roster, and I think we're a little thin at wide receiver. We do have, of course, we can start with Kadero Hodge, Ray McLeod, Darnell Mooney, and of course, wide receiver one, Drake London. We talked yesterday about guys like Nick Nash who have a chance to make the team as well. But wouldn't hurt for the Falcons to maybe even take a stab and look at, the free agent pool. And one guy I saw who is still a free agent right now, his name is DJ Chark. DJ Chark, who is a former Pro Bowl receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Last season he played for the Chargers. Actually battled a groin injury last season, came off of IR and played 7 games for the Chargers last season. Not the most impressive year stat-wise for DJ Chark, and again, he finds himself as a street free agent. So is he a target for the Falcons? I mean, he's fairly young. I mean, you'd think he'd be entering his prime at 28 years old. His best season in the league was his second season, and that's when he had the Pro Bowl. He went over 1,000 yards, had 8 touchdowns that year. He's got 24 touchdowns in his career. So he's a guy who knows how to find the end zone. That is absolutely for certain. He averages 14.4 yards per reception. So, he's somebody who can absolutely, be explosive. Look at some of his long catches of his career. 73 yards, is his career long. So I think DJ Chark is somebody you maybe could kick the tires on and possibly maybe look at a 1-year prove-it type of deal. Possibly, throw him a few $1 million, add some incentives. Maybe bring it up to 10, see if we can bump him up that way. But again, give Michael Penix another big target. He's 6'3". Put him out there with Drake. Put him out there with Mooney. I mean, now you don't know who to guard. Again, if you go 5, you can go 5 wideouts. Mooney, Drake, DJ Chark, Kadero Hodge, and even Ray McLeod. Or you can throw Pitts in there. You know what I mean? As the 5th, and then have Bijan Robinson in the backfield. Just creative things that you can do with a guy like DJ Chark. Again, he is a big target. Again, 6'3" is what he's listed at, 200 pounds, big dude. But again, last season, coming off of a groin injury, wouldn't hurt for the Falcons to kick the tires on him and, maybe feel around and see if there's maybe some interest. Could be. Yesterday, Bryce Hay, 9029, had talked about Simeon Barrow. He thinks he's got a good shot to make the roster. And what do you guys think? Simeon Barrow, 53-man roster, or is he a practice squad guy? I think he's got a long road to get to that 53, Bryce. And the reason why is you got to look in front of him on the depth chart and look in front of him, and you see, again, David Onyemata, you see Lakel London, you see Ruka Rororo. You're going to have even guys taking snaps as well in front of him. You maybe even Jalen Walker, who they can put in the mix down there at defensive line. I mean, again, there's so many different players in front of him. Again, if we look at the depth chart, I mean, you got to even, he may even again, Contavious Street, another guy. But somebody else, he ought to compete with Zach Harrison, Brandon Dorless, Morgan Fox. It's a long way up for Simeon Barrow. And I know he's first team All ACC, played for Miami, played for Michigan State. So the guy can ball. But, there's a lot of veteran presence up front. There's a lot of depth in front of him. So if I had to guess today, I think he's going to be a practice squad guy to start off with. He could see himself get called up, if an injury happens or something like that. But the place for him to show his worth is going to be coming up in training camp in about 4.5 weeks. Next on our mind here is something I saw on NFL.com, y'all. It was 10 bold predictions, at least 10 bold predictions for the NFL season. It's from NFL.com. One of those bold predictions was, excuse me, sorry. One of those bold predictions was that Kirk Cousins was actually going to be traded, or no, he was going to start for another team this year. That was one of their bold predictions. So I pose a question to y'all. Do you think Kirk is going to stay or is he going to go? What do y'all think? I think Kirk Cousins is staying. I don't see a path for him to play for another team and start. Not right now. Again, you'd have to have an injury happen to a starter, something to where either they're going to be out for a while or out for the season, and then they'll be desperate for a quarterback, and they may end up paying the Falcons a little bit more to get the guy that they need. So I think it's smart for the Falcons to hold on to Kirk Cousins right now. For them to, you can't really dangle him out there to people. They're going to be like, so we don't, we're good on that. But wait until middle of the year. Sometimes wear and tear happens on some of these guys and lingering injuries pop up. Hopefully, everybody stays healthy, of course. But, we've seen over time that these things do happen. And I think the only way you see Kirk play for another team this year is if there's a season-ending injury to somebody else's QB1. In the comments, y'all, I need to see you guys tell me what you think. Give me some of your opinions on the topics that we chop up, because we can continue it for a day or two and we can really have some discussions here about Falcons football. Tell me what you guys want to talk about. Let me know in the comments. You also can give me a follow at Craig G Sports, CRAIG, the letter G in the word sports. You can throw questions at me over there. That'd be pretty cool. But also we're going to continue to chop it up and look at some of the hottest news, rumors, topics surrounding the Atlanta Falcons. And again, thank y'all for tuning in to Falcons Daily on a daily basis. So on this Saturday and this whole weekend, y'all, be kind, be great. And this is the part where I say sayonara and buenos noches.